There's no giving.
It's dad rap. I need a quack like Aflac, not insurance. My kids malnourished, my kids won't eat, my kids won't sleep. Sneaking in our bed at 3 a.m. Kick me in the head, they sleeping sideways. This is the way I'm starting my days. It's dad rap. Never use Snapchat, never use TikTok. This dad hip hop. I rock a skip hop. It's dad rap. I need to wear a hazmat to clean a diaper genie. I hope my wife don't leave me. Why my kids so needy? I wish my life was easy. I'm rapping like I'm Wheezy. It's dad rap. It's a 90s flashback. Before we had apps, it was boom bap. That's that. 30 years in the game, it's getting hectic. Underground like septics. Forget the skeptics. It's dad rap. Whoa, holy cow. Welcome to the Friday Football Freakout. And that's dad rap down in downtown Saratoga. I hit the wrong video again to start. I mess up every week. I mess up the intro. But I usually don't mess up the intro because when I'm talking about fantasy football, there is no mistakes. And especially when I'm with my good friend, my lifelong friend that I met in 2000. Without further ado, I want to introduce my man, my special guest here. He's been my boy for 25 years now. Chris Adamo. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Feeling amazing. Amazing down in Miami. It's a good time to be in South Florida, so we're pumped. Football's back. Tua is back, hopefully. We'll see if that guy can get together. I have good positive thoughts about that. You know, if he should do it or not, better, you know, I don't know, man. Miami.
Yes, we got Tua. We're talking about Tua tonight. Okay, I see you're on the Instagram. I just got the Instagram going. Some technical difficulties, as always, to start the Friday Football Freakout, but that's how it is. That's how I do, because I'll never be perfect at this. I'm doing this all at once. I'm directing, producing, talking about the football, watching the Yankee game. The Yankees are up 2-1 right now in the World Series, as I represented last week during the Friday night freakout. During the ALCS, the Yankees won. And now they're in the World Series game one, up 2-1, and at the warning track. Okay, we're done with the sixth inning, so hopefully I'm not too far ahead of everybody out there. I messed up people last week that were watching the game, but Yankees get out of the sixth inning here, and I wish it was a Subway Series. I know, Chris, you're a Mets fan. Talking about the heartache not making the World Series.
You know what? It was joy, man. I mean, I went to a lot of games, all the playoff series in New York, and it was just like, it was kind of like going to the best version of church. Everyone was like having a time of their lives, like during the wins, and you felt that like kind of oneness again that the Mets fans needed. So it's been 9 years, and I was there in 2015 as well, and that was a good time until the end. But you know, this is a season that was not supposed to happen, so it was totally just like amazing to watch it happen. And next year it looks bright. I love our owners, and I love the kind of the team is very gritty. So it's a different team than years past. So it was good. I think next year we have a chance. Subway Series, run it back.
That's it, man. Every year, I've always been taught since I was a little kid to root for a Subway Series. I have nothing against the Mets. My brother is a big Mets fan. Obviously, a lot of my buddies, my lifelong buddies like Chris, are lifelong Mets fans, so I have nothing against the Mets. And before we get going on, I do want to say two things. Rest in peace to DJ Clark Kent, originator. He died last night, and also Phil Lesh of the Grateful Dead also died. Rough way to start the show, I know, but two musicians, you know me, I'm dad rap, I'm a musician, and, you know, DJ Clark Kent was somebody I listened to on the radio growing up, so very important to me in my formidable ages, making these tapes. I got all these tapes over here. I got a tape over here. I got all these tapes. Some of these have DJ Clark Kent on here, so tough way to start the show, but rest in peace to those two legends.
Legends, and they'll always be around, man. As long as the music is here, they're with you. So you should change your music to that next week.
I know, man. You know, I was one of the the greatest beat by DJ Clark Kent. He was a producer for Biggie. He did the beat for Sky's the Limit. It's a Bobby Caldwell sample, and it is an amazing one. So if you don't know DJ Clark Kent, well, you probably know Sky's the Limit from Biggie. That's the beat. He made beats for Jay-Z. A legend, 1990s rap, and, you know, gone way too soon.
Yeah.
from colon cancer. Colon cancer. So I'll tell you this: a couple weeks ago, I talked about getting a colonoscopy. It is so important. Health. I know you, Chris. You always talk about health is the number one thing. You always tell me to be healthier. And, obviously a healthy choice is getting a colonoscopy. So all the dads out there that are turning 45, I turned 45 and I got mine. It wasn't bad. It was actually, you felt pretty refreshed afterwards. You're ready to go on. I got a clean bill of health and, just gives you that mindset. So health is number one. So before we start the show, we'll talk a little bit about health. Chris, what do you say about that?
Get checked. It's important. I personally have been hit by cancer. My whole family, I've had at least 10 people get cancer, and you can get checked early and it's preventable. Don't smoke cigarettes. It's kind of the best thing to do. But sometimes you can't avoid it. So if you catch it early, you can beat it. So just take care of yourself. Drink a ton of water. Water solves almost everything in the world. If you drink 2 gallons of water a day, you're going to be really, really happy with your life. You're going to peel out at first, but you get used to it. But it's serious.
2 gallons.
I drink 2 gallons. I drink I must drink 8 of these a day. And it keeps you fluid. I have never had anything wrong, thankfully.
You never get any headaches.
Never. No, the water. I'm so hydrated. It's amazing.
So that's the thing with headaches. Drink water. If you get headaches, make sure you are drinking enough water. And on that note, we're going to help you tonight with your fantasy football teams. We're helping y'all with health tips, how to drink water and everything. But you guys all came here. We already got some questions in the chat about trades. We're going to be talking about trades. Chris and I have been in a fantasy league together for 20-something years, and we're going to talk about our fantasy league. And in one of the fantasy leagues I'm in with Chris, I have Jaden Daniels as my quarterback, and I couldn't believe he got me 5 points last week. It was very difficult. I lost in our Ja Rule league. In the league with Chris and Ja Rule, the rapid Ja Rule. So I have Jaden Daniels in that league, and I'm in really bad shape. I picked up Russell Wilson, so I'm probably going to have to start him this week. Jaden Daniels does play at 4 o'clock, so that is very important. If you have another quarterback on your team that starts at 1, you're going to have to make that decision beforehand. But what do you think about this whole Jaden Daniels situation this week, Chris?
He's going to take a week or 2 off, I think, for sure. So I would definitely get a backup plan. Russell is not my first choice. I think I'd rather roll the dice with a Drake May or Jameis Winston. I feel good about Jameis for some reason. He has a chance to just throw the ball around, which is nice. So he can always be like a slinger. But you know what? Russell looked good last week, surprisingly, and he'll be solid. The defense they're playing against is not that amazing, so he can have a fine day. I'd probably get you 15 points, which is what you expect, hopefully.
No doubt about it. Tyler Owens asks, is this a Q&A? Yeah, drop your questions, your start-sit questions, your trade questions. We got a couple of trade questions. Next segment, after we do go through the news, we're going to be talking about trades, as this is the trade season. A lot of big trades in the NFL and actually going on in our fantasy league that we're going to talk about. So that's coming up soon in the show. And I'm going to jump right to Jameis Winston. You just talked about him as the third guy on this list. He will start. Deshaun Watson out for the season. Going to go down as one of the worst contracts in the history of sports. Deshaun Watson got $200+ million guaranteed. Jameis Winston is now the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and they're playing against Baltimore, who on Monday night just gave up 370 yards and 3 touchdowns to Baker Mayfield. So what do you think about Jameis? He's your sleeper quarterback, it sounds like, for this
I like it. I picked him in a lot of leagues. He could be really good the rest of the way. The Browns have nothing to play for, so let that guy sling it. They're getting Nick Chubb back. They have a good line, so their receivers are totally fine. There's no reason why you couldn't get some good production out of Jameis. He can run a little bit. Interceptions will happen, but he's kind of like a version of Baker Mayfield kind of. So you can get that kind of. We'll see, but I'm okay with it personally.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an Elijah Moore fan, which is kind of crazy to say, but I'm a Jets fan, so I've always kind of believed in Elijah Moore. He's gotten a lot of targets. He will be getting a lot of targets. Cedric Tillman, he has gotten picked up all over, one of the big waiver wire acquisitions. I really wasn't all in on that because they also got Jerry Jeudy. So 3 decent targets there.
And
obviously
Njoku.
one of the best, well, exactly, one of the best tight ends in football, David Njoku, who totally beasted out at the end of that game when Jameis came in. You could see it that he's going to be one of the best tight ends in football for the year going out now. Njoku, a guy who is also going out is Andy Dalton. Got in a car accident this week. I have Chuba Hubbard on my team. I'm very scared. Everything on this Ja Rule league is falling apart quickly.
Well, I'm playing you.
I'm more worried about Andy Dalton being out. I mean, you cannot start any of the Panthers this week at Denver, any of the pass catchers. I don't even know if I could start Chuba Hubbard. I think I'm just going to keep with it, but very worried about that with Bryce Young starting. What do you think about Bryce Young, Chris?
Out. Totally out. Yeah, I would never start anyone on that team, actually. I think Deontay Johnson's probably sitting because he doesn't want to play.
It could be possible. I mean, Deontay, they might be sitting him because he is on the trade block. People have said that Deontay Johnson could get moved, and he is not playing this week. He is out, so Carolina's going to have some real issues. To open the show, you talked about you're down in Miami. You go to a lot of Dolphins games. What is the excitement down in Miami now to get Tua Tagovailoa back?
Well, there's excitement and also worry. Most of the writers are like, you should retire, do what's best for your family. But man, Tua is just a guy who does not, ever want to retire. So he's going to play until, I guess, the worst thing happens, right? But he wears a helmet that's supposed to be better than other helmets to keep him safe. Don't know. But I just traded for Tyreek Hill, so I hope Tua is healthy and he's throwing the ball to Tyreek. I know you have Waddle too, so those guys need a quarterback. Well, anybody to get the ball to them, just get in their hands. Even short passes are totally fine. They can do wonders with their legs. So if he's healthy and he's upright, the Dolphins are going to be great again. So that's kind of it.
That's it. That's the key to the Dolphins offense is Tua getting that ball out quick. You see it with those other Skylar Thompson, Snoop Huntleys. They just don't have that step and throw immediately to these guys because if you get Tyreek Hill running into the ball, you lead him, he gets out into space, he's gone. And that's what the key thing, and that's why these guys, even with those quick little slants with Tua, the accuracy and the quickness as he's able to get the ball out there. That's the difference in the offense. And I do have Waddle, and I've been benching him. I need him now this week. We'll talk a little bit more about some other injuries that have made me need Waddle this week. But before we leave the quarterback news of the day, Derek Carr likely out, has not practiced all week. Spencer Rattler is getting the start. Chris Olave has been cleared from a concussion. We'll talk about him later. What do you think about the New Orleans passing game at the Chargers, who are 7th best against the pass, against quarterbacks, fantasy quarterbacks this year?
Not good. Avoid every person on that team on the pass catching. Probably Tyreek Hill. Taysom Hill could be a sneaky start because they run the ball a shit ton, and Kamara, it'll be okay, but they're just going to stack the box because Rattler can't do really anything. So, yeah, avoid all those pass catchers. Just go with even Kamara. I may sit him in favor of a different flex personally, but if you can't, you got to go with him.
Okay, we're going to be talking about Kamara like the whole night, probably.
Probably, yeah. He's also part of trades this weekend. So
okay, so he was in a big trade in our fantasy league. We're going to be talking about Alvin Kamara. He's going to be showing up on the next slide here. Let me see here. How do I move these slides over? There we go. There's the next slide. I got a whole slideshow tonight for y'all. I got 12 slides we're working through. So stay with us because we're going to be looking at all of the news, all of the trades, and we're going to be talking about our lineups, and you're going to be setting your lineups. We have some questions in the chat that we'll get to in a couple of minutes. Let me go through the actually, if we have some questions about quarterbacks before we get the Dolphins offense wasn't exactly clicking prior to his injury. Has the league caught up with McDaniel's scheme? What do you think about this question from David H. Kraft? This guy, who's this guy? David H. Kraft.
I think he's up in like Rochester or Buffalo.
The Ponies.
It sounds like he hates the Dolphins.
Definitely hates the Dolphins. Living in Buffalo, I think.
I mean, we only saw one game of Tua, so they were fine the first game, and then they got hurt. So yeah, Maybe. I think they just need some more, like, get it out of them for the first couple of games. So we'll see. He'll probably be rusty the first time he's back, for sure.
Oh, my Lord. Well, someone who is back, moving to the running back news, Jonathan Taylor is back. He's ready to go. He's coming back from his high ankle sprain. And I'm really, really worried because he's playing at Houston. I think Houston has one of the better defenses in the league. They're giving up the third least points to fantasy running backs this week. Anthony Richardson has looked horrible. I guess I'm starting Jonathan Taylor. I have a neighborhood league that I'm in that I have Jonathan Taylor, and I guess I got to start him. I have better running backs. I feel obliged to start him, and I'm like, he's going to be back, and he's going to get me 5 points. Am I nuts, or is this what happened to me?
No, he'll get more than that. He's just a solid running back, so everyone else there is trash. No matter who's starting a quarterback, they're going to give him the rock 15, 20 times, and he may get a couple passes, and he's the guy on the goal line, unless, Richardson runs it himself. But I feel fine about him. You got to start him. Who else are you going to start behind? But besides that guy, it's probably your first or second.
I know. He was like my second pick in that draft, but I got some other guys at the 10-team league, so I got some other guys. One of the other guys I have in one of my leagues, in our best ball league, I have Bucky Irvin. He's questionable with the toe. I'm really worried about Bucky Irvin. Like, I got him in that league. I actually dropped him in our fraternity league, and I did that because I just am worried about this. Obviously Rachaad White's still there, and they got Sean Tucker. It seems like a three-headed monster. I watched the game on Monday Night Football. They were all touching the ball. Now, Bucky Irvin has this toe injury, and I'm concerned, but he was back in practice today. He missed the last, I think, Wednesday and Thursday. He was both out those days. Bucky Irvin, you like him or not?
I like him if he's playing and healthy, but there's a three-back kind of like mishmash there, so they're all going to probably have meh games. So I wouldn't start him, but I keep him on your roster because one guy goes down, which White is kind of banged up. I think he's really valuable. So, yeah, not this week, especially having no receivers because half the team is hurt. But, I think he's probably the most talented guy on their roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things there. You think about it, right? Godwin hurt, Evans hurt. That was the big news earlier in the week. I'm not going back too much into the news. There's been a lot of news coverage on that. But obviously, how does that affect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers overall? Will it be a guy like Jalen McMillan that's going to step up and be as good as those guys? Probably not. He's a rookie. So what are they going to do? They might rely on this three-headed backfield where each guy touches the ball a lot. They keep them fresh and rotating them in, get the ball to Chad Otten or Cade Otten, so it's like that might be the offense, and they might not rely on the wide receivers as much. We'll see. It should be very interesting to see what happens with Tampa Bay versus Atlanta this week. We talked a little bit about ETN before we joined the show. ETN is questionable. He has been limited all week. He has his hamstring injury. Is he back? Will he mess up Tank Bigsby's flow right now?
I think they're on a straight timeshare anyway, so I probably won't start him. See how he does this first week back if he plays. Bigsby's the guy there. I think he's going to probably overtake him anyway, and then ETN will get the passing down stuff. But Bigsby's a really good runner. If you look at all the stats from the whole year, all three of those backs, he's like by far the best one. So heavy Bigsby, I'm sure, with ETN's like kind of getting his own share, but the flying share goes to him. So sit him.
Yeah, and start Bigsby. What do you think?
Yeah, I would if I had a pick.
We got a good question coming up here from a guy named Jarrett Bowers who's joining us. He got 3 daughters. Look at that. That's a dad right there. Like, I'm dad rap, but Jarrett is the definition of a dad with that photo. Like, wow. Living that dad life right there. And he's asking us about Rachaad White or Kamara in a PPR. Jesus. Well, we got the Buccaneers home to the Falcons, and Kamara is at the Chargers. And I don't know. The Chargers have been pretty good on defense this year, and obviously with Rattler as the quarterback there, I'm worried about Kamara. I also don't love Rachaad White either. I'd like him more if Bucky Irvin is out, but this seems like he's going to be playing. I don't know. I guess I'll go with Kamara just because he's the whole show there, and he's going to touch the ball at least 15 times.
Gotta go Kamara. I'm all same. Jarrett, start him.
Yeah, I'm scared of Kamara. He's on the list here. He's good to go with a hand and a rib injury. He has a broken hand and a broken rib.
Fine.
I mean, he's like a Superman, Kamara. I
Yeah.
mean, just look at him. I don't think a broken hand slows him down.
No.
He is a beast mode type of player like Marshawn Lynch was back in the day. Another guy who's not really been that good this year, though, Tyjae Spears, we skipped over. He's been limited all week. He's back with a hamstring. I don't think he's even someone is this somebody you want to pick up speculative. You won't be starting Tyjae Spears. Pollard has been the whole show there. Tennessee's offense is not that good overall anyhow. But maybe he touches the ball now a little bit more. That Hopkins has been traded. Maybe he'll get more work out of the backfield getting passes. What do you think? You don't like Spears at all?
Pass on Spears. He's a handcuff. Really, Pollard's the guy there, so I wouldn't worry about him at all. And then Ford, you can stop. He's done. Yeah. Once Chubb comes back, he's basically phased out. So
yeah, Chubb was back last week. Ford was out last week. Ford out again. He's somebody that if you need the bench spot, or if you don't have an IR, you already got two guys on your IR, just dump Jerome Ford. I don't think anyone is going to be picking him up too quickly. But a guy that you want to pick up or need on your team, and you need him to start this week, is Zay Flowers. He was back at practice today. He gave everyone a real scare this week. Got injured on Monday Night Football, kind of played through it. The adrenaline, the ankle injury looked pretty bad on Monday Night Football. He's questionable. Do you think he's going to play?
I think he's going to play. Yeah, but again, if you have someone decently close to him, I'd probably ear towards starting somebody else because he could get ruled out last minute. So, but if he's all you got, you roll with him. He's been good so far the last couple of games, and Lamar's kind of like slinging it. So, if he's one of your top three, you probably got to put him in there.
Yeah, Zay Flowers, if he's playing, you got to play him. He's been one of the top 24 receivers this year. Definitely has put up some big games. Another guy who's put up some big games is T. Higgins, questionable with a quad. All right, this is the Friday Night Football freak out, and I am freaking out because I got T. Higgins in the Ja Rule League, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? He had a quad injury today at practice. I just absolutely hate when a dude gets injured at practice. He is a 1 o'clock kickoff. That's the only thing that will make me somewhat happy because you'll know at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday if Higgins is playing. And I guess I have backup plans. I have Waddle. I might have to start 2 tight ends at this point if T. Higgins is out. Moving along to Calvin Ridley is good to go with the foot, and the Tennessee Titans needed Calvin Ridley. They're going to need him greatly now that they traded DeAndre Hopkins. People are talking about this Nick Acuna. Oh, God, I don't even know how to say the guy's name. He has 3 names on Tennessee that he could be a sleeper. But with Ridley there, I think he's going to get most of the action. Moving along to Jameson Williams has been suspended for 2 games. You won't be playing him anytime soon. Oh, I got my man Chris back. So Jameson Williams is out. Won't be playing him. I think Sam Laporta hopefully could show up one of these games. What do you think, Chris?
If there's ever going to be a time, it's going to be one of these 2 games. So I don't know why Goff hates him, but it seems like he just stopped throwing the ball to him altogether. It's really strange. And Williams only gets like 3 targets a game. So it's not even like they're all going to Jameson Williams. It doesn't make any sense. I really am totally at a loss of why he's like just been gone and ghosted. And like he was the number 1 tight end for everybody this year. I mean, last year he was very, very heavily on touchdowns, but still, he's just basically getting like no love. So I hope he comes back, for everyone else's sake who has him. He could, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Laporta gets it going in the tight ends. We're talking about wide receivers. We talked about Deontay Johnson's out. We think he's faking it, kind of. I should have said I could get sued or something, but
he's faking it. I think the team's probably getting hurt. Devontae.
Well, last week we talked about him on the show, and he had like 3 injuries listed for him. So he's just probably beat up and just like, I'm done. And he's on the trade block. We'll see if Carolina trades him. A guy who's not going to get traded is DK Metcalf. He's doubtful with the knee. It looked really bad last week. He probably would not play. I don't think he practiced all week. So make other plans. Obviously, if you have Tyler Lockett, he's someone you can roll out there as a boom or bust flex. Jawan Jennings is obviously the boom bust player of the year with the biggest game of the year with a 46.5-point game a few weeks back. He's out with a hip injury. The San Francisco 49ers are one of the most beat-up teams in the history of football at this point. Every guy's gotten injured on their team. Deebo Samuel went to the hospital with pneumonia. He's questionable. He'll likely play this week. They're going to have him and Jordan Mason pretty much and a bunch of bums out there. No, because actually Kittle is also questionable. We'll talk about him a little bit more. And this is Sunday Night Football, home to the Dallas Cowboys. If you could believe it, the defending NFC champion San Francisco 49ers are 3-4. The injuries are piling up. What do you think about this whole situation with San Francisco overall with all the injuries and who you like coming back? Obviously, Ayuk out for the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's opportunities. That team just finds ways to score points. So I feel like Mason will be a great start. If Kittle plays, he'll slay. Pearsall, who knows? Maybe he can get some points on the board. TBD, but if Debo's playing, it's gonna be a heavy Debo game. So that's probably where it's an all points will be Debo and Mason. Purdy's been fine. Just all the injuries are stacking up on the guy, so you can't really knock them. And they're gonna get back McCaffrey maybe in week 10. So the teams will find a way to kind of be in the mix. That their division is not crazy, so they're still in the hunt, and they're gonna play as hard as they play, and they find a way to win. They have a great coach, so. I'm probably not worried about the team, but the injuries suck if you have those guys in the team for sure.
It's been tough having San Francisco 49ers on your team this year, unless you had Jordan Mason, but he has actually slowed down a little bit with his fantasy production in the past few weeks. A guy who has not had any fantasy production is Jalen Polk. He's out with a concussion. Just wanted to put him on here. The guy has not gotten going. Other rookie wide receivers have obviously gotten going this year. A guy that got going but is doubtful with a chest injury is Alan Lazard. He's had a bunch of big games. He really has that rapport with Aaron Rodgers, but now playing third fiddle behind Devonta Adams and Garrett Wilson. No one really looking to play Alan Lazard. You could probably drop him if you need the spot on your bench. These are two guys you could drop, right? Jalen Polk and Alan Lazard.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I feel like once Adams got there, he's taking most of those targets, and they still have Mike Williams. So they have a lot of receivers out there.
Yeah, they might try trade Mike Williams. They've been trying to. I don't know who wants him. He's pretty washed up, but maybe they'll get a bag of balls for him in return. A guy that might return is Tua is back, but the guy that might not be there with him is Tyreek Hill, and maybe he jinxed himself on Wednesday. If you saw after practice, he was all pumped up and said, "Start me in fantasy. We're ready to roll. We got Tua coming back." And then the next day he gets hurt in practice with a foot injury. You're in Miami. What do you know about this situation with Tyreek Hill?
We have no information. My buddy's actually their beat reporter, and he wasn't there for the media part. I think it's just rest. He probably had a little banged up thing. It's not serious, so he's going to play. I wouldn't worry about Tyreek. He's a beast. He's also one of those guys that just like plays through everything. So if he's nothing's broken, he's going to be out there.
We've seen him play through a lot of ridiculous injuries in his career, Tyreek Hill. He's not missing this game with Tua's first game back. They're going to be pumped up there in Miami. And we already talked about Chris Olave. You could probably bench Chris Olave. He's just been one of these guys. Like, I literally had a mock draft. I don't really even do too many mock drafts. I did one mock draft. And I picked Olave like with my second or third pick in that second, third round. And I felt like so dirty afterwards. I'm like, I don't think this guy's going to be good. And just like I had this like horrible, like when you draft a guy, you just feel like, why did I do that? And you feel really dirty.
Yes.
And I felt that way about Olave. I'm like, I'm not picking him in any of my leagues now after I felt that way. And I guess I had the right feeling because he's just had a disaster of a year. I mean, after 2 weeks, the Saints were 2-0 with 91 points. They led the league in scoring and lost 5 straight, got embarrassed at home on Thursday Night Football, the Broncos. Now they come back. Rattler's coming back. They get Olave back. Kamara got a broken. This team is a mess. So I don't even think you could start Olave in the spot. Would you start Olave if you're really really
No,
desperate.
he needs Derek Carr, and even with that, he's not that great. So I'm passing. There's a lot of good guys in waiver wire that I would start. Like one of the guys in Tampa, one of the guys in Cleveland. They probably have a better day than him, volume wise. So
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean,
I
the
love
Cleveland guys,
those guys.
going, if you got the right guy, it's just, rolling the dice with one of those 2 or 3 guys like Shepard, Sterling Shepard, or McMillan in Tampa Bay, Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, and Jerry Jeudy, who probably is not on your waiver wire, but if he is, go get him. And go get George Kittle if he's out there. He's the number 1 tight end in football. Him and Brock Bowers are probably 1 and 2 right now. But he's questionable with a foot. We don't know if he's going to play. It's like you have no clue. He'll probably play Kittle, I would think. So if he's playing, you got to play him. Anything you got to say about Kittle? You say he's going to beast out if he plays, right? So.
Of course, definitely, he'll probably play. That guy plays through a lot of shit too. So
yeah,
he's probably in. They need him. He knows that. Yeah, if he's in, he's been number 1 the whole year, and amazing. That guy's just been like, if you watched the show last season, it was really good to see his behind the scenes of his life, and yeah, just a fun guy to root for too.
Yeah. Now, we all love George Kittle, so if he's out there, play him. Next week, TJ Hawkinson will be back. We didn't even talk about the game last night. I guess I'll cover it right now. We talked a little bit about the Rams. No, we didn't even talk about the Rams. I think I talked to you earlier in the day about the Rams. So the Rams beat the Minnesota Vikings last night, 30-20. If you didn't see the game, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were both back for the LA Rams, and they both look great. Stafford looked the best he looked all season long, and the offense was clicking. Kyron Williams had a huge first half, kind of slowed down in the second half, but still ended up with 22 fantasy points. So the Rams look like they're going to be one of the better offenses in football from last night. Minnesota, starting the season off 5-0, now lost 2 games in a row to good teams, LA on the road and to Detroit last week, but now they're getting back. Hawkinson, I think the big question about the Minnesota Vikings, and I'll let you talk about both sides of the game, is Sam Darnold becoming a pumpkin? Is it over for him? Is Cinderella done at the ball for Sam Darnold? Is he going to show up to be actually Sam Darnold now?
Well, he lost his left guard, left tackle, and that hurts. So yeah, he looked awful after that happened, and getting beat up does not help behind scrimmage lines. But yeah, we'll see. You got to keep that guy well protected. That's really it. If you can't, if that guy has to run around, not going to be great. So we'll see what the injury is in that guy and see if he comes back faster than not. But Sam Darnold. So I'm amazed that he's playing so well, really. But he was a top prospect. So
I mean, yeah, I always liked Darnold. I'm a Jets fan, and they ran him out of town. I thought the guy had some talent. I saw some sparks with Darnold, but that's what happens in New York. Sometimes a guy doesn't hit right away, and they get run out of town.
Yeah.
And he's had a good career. He has the best receiver in football in Justin Jefferson. And having that helps. Obviously, Aaron Jones has found the fountain of youth up there. He has been looking great this year. Yesterday, he got 93% of the snaps in the game. So if you have Ty Chandler, that's a guy you could drop. I was the biggest Ty Chandler fan coming into the year. So if you're looking to drop a guy, drop Ty Chandler right now and get somebody that's
playing a handcuff.
Just pick up anybody else because you don't need him anymore. Even if Aaron Jones gets hurt with the signing of Cam Akers, you do not want to have Ty Chandler because he might be sharing with Cam Akers, and sharing with Cam Akers is probably like the lowest thing you could ever be as a running back. Like, it doesn't get any worse if you're a running back and you have to share with Cam Akers.
Yeah, go ask Dameon Pierce.
Yes, Dameon Pierce. Yes, exactly.
He's like, this is what I have to deal with. This is guys coming in.
So that's a lot about the Minnesota Vikings. Apologize. I shouldn't have went off on this Minnesota Vikings tangent. But last but not least, in our tight end news and the news for today, and I'm going to start getting to some of your questions. We have some questions about trades. We're going to move to the next segment. We're going to be talking about all these trades, who to trade for. We're going to be giving out all the good news here. Last but not least, Dalton Kincaid with his collarbone. He does not get an injury designation. I actually have a starter sit question for you. Dalton Kincaid at Seattle
Mm-hmm.
or Tucker Kraft at the Jaguars?
Kraft.
All
I
right.
have both those guys on two of my teams as well, and I've been playing Kraft the past 5 weeks straight, and it's been a much better situation. Kincaid just doesn't get the target volume that he was getting last year, so they're running the ball too much, and now they have Cooper in the mix, so he's not going to be what we thought he was going to be preseason. He'll probably be a 10 to 12 point guy every week, and that's nice. But I want to have upside of like having a 20-point tight end slot, right? It's why you want to play guys like Taysom Hill, because he can give you 20, 30 sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah, Kincaid, he doesn't have a high ceiling anymore with Cooper there. You know, when I drafted him, I was like, oh, he's going to be the number one target in Buffalo. It has not happened. You know, Keon Coleman has looked good. Obviously, Shakir has been getting plenty of catches. And now with Cooper, you know, Amari Cooper there, and he's going to get more. You know, I think he only had like 20 snaps last week. So he's going to be more involved in the snap count and the target share this week. Moving along to the next part is the trade. We got some trade questions. We got a bunch of comments that we should be going through. But we'll start off with one of our trades. Maybe we'll go back and forth between one of our trades that we had. So Chris and I met Chris in 2000. Been a lifelong friend with this guy. We've been in a fantasy league with all of our fraternity brothers for, I don't know, since 2001. It's like 23 years, 2002. It was, so it's been at least 20, 22, 23 years. And this week, we had the most trades in 1 week probably ever. Everyone just does not care anymore, and we just all wanted to switch players. So let's see if any of these trades actually make sense, is the question. So we're going to grade the trade. We're going to say who won this trade. So here, someone acquired Jared Goff, and we talked about Pearsall on San Francisco with all the injuries, him coming back from this robbery attempt before week 1 where he got shot. Did he get shot?
Yeah.
He did get shot.
Right? Shot in the chest. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not great.
Unbelievable. So, you know, this would be a great story if he comes back and has a big game. Everyone will love that. So, and then whoever acquired this guy will like that, Pearsall. But he traded away Kirk Cousins and Cole Kmet, which I could care too less about Kmet. I mean, he had one huge week. They got 3 really good wide receivers there. I don't think Caleb Williams is really throwing the ball like a madman. He's not a great passer. So, I mean, I don't think Kmet's that great here. I like Cousins. I think the guy who got Goff and Pearsall made out here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I don't know. I think Pearsall's not going to be really great. So once Jennings gets back next week, he's probably going to be 3rd on that list of targets, or 4th probably behind Kittle and Debo and Jennings. So, and then McCaffrey. So yeah, I don't know. Goff's definitely better than Cousins though, and Kmet's meh. The guy who got Kmet, he didn't really need Kmet. He had like I don't know, someone who's the same. So I think he just traded the trade, which is people do that all the time. He's bored.
All right. Now we got a question from the chat. Pyre Rocco, he's a Stanley Cup champion. Why is that logo? I don't understand. But trade Mahomes. Oh, God, this is an interesting trade.
Breece Hall.
Trade Mahomes and Breece Hall. Okay, so Breece
Or
Hall.
Kyron.
Or Kyron.
Okay.
Daniels
Mahomes plus the top 3 running backs.
3 guys back. He's going to give one of his top 2 running backs. And he's going to give Pollard. Oof. Jeez. I mean, Mahomes is nothing. Jaden Daniels is pretty good. So, I mean, this guy is trading Breece Hall, Kyron Williams. So those are the 2 best players. I don't like being a guy who gives the best player up in the trade. And you're giving up Breece or Kyron, who are top 5 running backs. I don't think you could do it.
I would keep Mahomes because now he's got a better arsenal with him, and Hopkins is going to be good. I guarantee he's going to be like good. So I think Mahomes will be fine.
Okay, so he gave us more information here. This is like like a Hardy Boys mystery. As I read along, I'm getting more information about what this guy's team is like here. So he has Justin Jefferson. So like he doesn't even need neighbors. Really.
Whatever. He should keep Breece and Kyron. He's stacked. and he has Jefferson, and Mahomes is going to be better.
He has
Then,
Brees, Kyron, and Jefferson. This guy should
and
have no
then,
problem winning.
and then Winston's going to be
Three of the
decent.
best 10
So
players in football.
I think he's fine. Yeah, don't Pollard's. Who knows?
You could win with Jameis Winston as your quarterback. I mean, he's 2-5 though, but
well, it's a super flex. So he's starting two guys, but I guess he wants to upgrade from Mahomes to Daniels. But I don't think it's.
He has Mahomes, Richardson, and Winston, so he could pick two of those three guys each week.
He's 2-5, so I guess he's getting.
And Jaden Daniels, he shouldn't do the deal because Jaden Daniels is out this week most likely, and he's 2-5. He needs to start a guy. So then he'd be stuck with Richardson or Winston. He had both of those guys. Yeah, I mean, you could bench Richardson in this spot. I don't like them going into Houston. I mean, Houston has a really good pass rush. They've been destroying the quarterback. And Anthony Richardson, I know he could run and all, but going into Houston, it's a hostile environment there, and he has not been very good. So you probably be starting Jameis and Mahomes, which is fine. Both of them should have good weeks. I think, the Chiefs at the Raiders should be a shootout. I mean, it's actually a 41.5 point under over, which seems low to me. Definitely seems low. I would think there's going to be a good amount of scoring in that game. Maybe to just think the Raiders suck so bad. But I think I would just stick with my guys. If I have Brees, Kyron, and Justin Jefferson as my top three players, I don't want to break that up. That's like a very dominant top three. All right, cool. So moving along to another trade. So that was another trade in our league. All right, so this is one. The first question of the night came in from a guy. This guy keeps on asking questions. David H. Kraft. Would you trade Justin Jefferson? So we just talked about Jefferson. The other guy had Justin Jefferson and Kyron Williams on his team. So would you trade Justin Jefferson for Kyron Williams? And that's the trade that happened in our league. So it's kind of
there you go.
That happened. But
I think it's a fair trade. Total fair trade.
They're both top 10 players. So I mean, it matters what. What's that?
If you need a hole for a running back, you trade away Jefferson, and if you have backup receivers, then you're good. So Kyron's gonna be great the rest of the way as long as it doesn't get hurt.
I know. Pick up if you did acquire Kyron Williams, please pick up Blake Corum.
Yeah,
this is the time of the year that I'll come to it in one of my last slides here. I got Zach Charbonnet this week. That's the only trade I made, but I got Ken Walker. Like, these are the things you got to do right now. We're talking about week 8. You might be 5-2. You're looking to make a playoff run. Please handcuff your running back because the waiver wire is going to start getting a little less active, and you want your guy. You want Blake Corum if you have Kyron Williams. You need to protect the guy that you've invested a first-round pick in, second-round pick, $50-$60 when you auctioned. You got to protect those guys. If you got Breece Hall, you need Braylon Allen on your team. These are the guys. Even here, like for Justin Jefferson, you could handcuff a wide receiver at this point. Like, if you could get Naylor, or if Addison, just get another guy because you want to protect your best investments at this point in the year.
Yep.
I guess I get that.
I think you're right. Definitely pick up Corum. Naylor's a good backup for Jefferson. This is a great trade for whoever needed those players. So totally checks out.
All right. So let's go to another thing here. All right. We'll go back and forth here. I have some big decisions this week. All right. This is the type of stuff we need on this show. So thank you. Come to us with your big decisions because you know what? I'm going to try my hardest to help you out. Like, I'm trying my best over here. If I screw it up,
big decisions like what college to go to. Should I get married?
I got big decisions like
I want all
those. Should I buy a house? Like these are the things like. But this guy, he has. This is another whole thing here. We got to read this whole guy's team. All right.
Holy fuck!
All right. This guy got Lamar. I guess AJ Brown, Debo, Waddle, Jonathan Taylor, Chuba. So he's a little bit weak at running back. I like his wideouts. Ferguson's a fine tight end. Mooney on the bench. I don't even know who Siebert is. I don't play with kickers. I think
kicker.
Chicago.
He's asking, should he start Bigsby or Lockett?
Rondale, Mostert, Lockett, and Wicks. Lockett's pretty good this week, but he has good wideouts, so he doesn't need Lockett. Lamar's the number one quarterback in football right now. I guess he has to start Jonathan Taylor and Chuba or Bigsby. I guess I would go if he has a flex here. Yeah, I guess it's kind of tough, right? I guess you got to start Jonathan Taylor. You've been waiting for him to come back. Chuba's questionable if you want to start Bigsby or Mooney. And Mooney, oh boy, Mooney's been good. He's at the Buccaneers. Yeah. That should be a pretty high scoring game.
He had a big game last time versus the Bucs.
What's that?
He had a big game last time versus the Bucs, if I remember, because he had that huge game with Cousins. If Metcalf's not playing, you could put Lockett in maybe over Mooney, but they're kind of like even, I think, with the upside. And then if Etienne's not playing, I put Bigsby in over Chuba Hubbard. I may do anyway because Chuba may have been like a nothing game. So yeah, put Bigsby in over Chuba. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I would do the same. I have Chuba in another league where I don't have Bigsby. So yeah, that's a very tough situation for this Tyler Owens. But thank you, Tyler, for sending your question in. All right, I got to get rid of Tyler's question. Hold on one second. Where's Tyler?
That's the next trade. Come on, let's go.
Next trade. Let's keep them going. I know we're at 46 minutes here. I try to keep this under 45 minutes to an hour. So we're going to get through these 12 slides. We're on slide number 8. Here's a trade that happened in our league. Look at this one. Jesus.
This seemed like a strange trade. It was a red flag for me. Go back to that last trade.
Okay, sorry.
Why would someone make this trade?
Who's getting screwed in this trade?
Whoever got Love and McBride and Rico, just like they're all better than the guys they traded. Dobbins maybe is better than Rico, but the other two guys are just not even like in the same conversation. I don't think.
Mark Andrews compared to McBride?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's so weird.
McBride hasn't even actually scored a touchdown this year. Yet. I think it's been somewhat of a disappointment with Kyler, actually. But when you look at Mark Andrews, he's been a huge disappointment besides last week. Dobbins was a huge disappointment last week. Obviously, a tough game on Monday Night Football. Goff versus Love. I think Love is much better than Goff.
Yeah.
So, boy, it's tough. I mean, McBride and Andrews were both top 5 tight ends as drafted. And Daddle and Dobbins, the upside going forward. I feel like I think what you said is Dallas. I think Dallas is going to start turning around, but
yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion about this deal.
It feels like this: the guy who has Goff, Dobbins, and Andrews called the guy who had those players. They probably both in like last or second to last place, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's just swap guys and see what happens."
Yeah, that's what happened here. It's a little bit of a tricky situation. So this is what I really wanted to talk about.
Oh, my trades.
It took me 47 minutes to get to what actually happened in our fantasy league and drop comments how ridiculous this situation was. Chris his name is Happy Endings here, all right? So the first thing he did was he traded Tank Dell to get Dak, which is Tank Dell had a horrible week. He's going to have a big week this week, I think, Tank Dell. I think at home against the Colts, Stroud is going to get it back going. He's always been good against the Colts. You know, in his last 3, I think whatever it was, week 1 they played. He was good against the Colts, and last year also he was good against the Colts. So Dell, I think, could have a big bounce back game. So giving up Dell, if you don't have a big time quarterback, I guess, and you believe in Dak, but what you did after this was.
Well, here's my thinking. I have Nico Collins on my bench. Okay. He's coming back in 2 weeks. I figure once he comes back, Dell's useless again.
That's true.
So
all right. So then you picked up Sterling Shepard.
I believe that the Cowboys have a great.
So you picked up Sterling Shepard, and then you traded Sterling Shepard and Kamara for CeeDee Lamb. This is the joke. How you got CeeDee Lamb is a mockery.
I don't think so. Kamara's the best running back in the game points-wise so far. Yeah, he's banged up, but he's been banged up the whole year and been fine. I mean, Carr's not back till next week. Once Carr gets back, he's good again. So I don't – Lamb's been average. He's ranked like 50.
Must be an 8-team league. Confirmed. Oh, my Lord. These guys are getting out of here. All right, so I don't know. I didn't like the deal. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to be awesome again. And
I agree.
And now you got Prescott to Lamb, all right? And then what happened after that is you got Sterling Shepard back somehow. You picked him up. You dropped. Who did you drop? I don't understand this. You dropped Russell Wilson to pick up Sterling Shepard. Then you traded him away, and then you got him back in the next trade.
Well, the guy who I traded, who I got Lamb from, he was going to drop Shepard, but I'll take him back if you don't want him, because he wanted to get Hunt and Adams because he didn't trust that Tua was going to be playing again. Who knows? If Tua is going to be dead, alive, who knows?
I know. I mean,
you don't know.
One quarter again. I hope not. We hope Tua does fine, but I mean, holy crap, dude. So now you have Tyreek Hill and CeeDee Lamb. So let's go to the final thing. So one move I made one move. Here's dad rap. I traded away Keenan Allen. I got Zach Charbonnet because I got Ken Walker. So if you guys could read this here, this is our matchup. So we have a matchup this week. I'm 5-2. Are you 5-2 also?
Yeah.
We're both 5-2 in this league, in our league that we've been in 20 years together. This is our matchup this week. So now you have CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Barkley, and Gibbs. This is a 12-team league, all right? So that's pretty ridiculous. Kyler, who's been a bit of a disappointment we talked about. Ferguson, who's a fine tight end. Shakir's your flex, and then the Detroit defense. And then I got Hurts, A.J. Brown, Neighbors, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, who's not questionable anymore. He will not have a tag. Hunter Henry, I just spent $16 on to get in our league. I needed a tight end so badly.
Wow.
Chuba Hubbard, who we've said is horrible, and I got the Pittsburgh defense. So this is a matchup. I don't feel too confident that you made all these trades literally right before you have to play me.
Imagine if I had Nico Collins healthy.
Oh, you're gonna have Nico Collins healthy, so you're gonna have 3 of the top 10 wideouts then, or maybe even 3 of the top 5 wideouts.
Yeah,
I mean, Lamb, Hill, and Nico Collins might be top 3. I mean, that could be the top 3. I mean, right there, maybe Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson get in there, but yeah, I mean, they're 3 of the top 5 guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have a stacked team. I thought I had a chance to win this league until this all happened.
TBD. These guys often just fall apart, though, so you never know.
This is what you've done to me every year in my life of fantasy football. I've dealt with.
Well, I work the phones. I work the phones, and I make deals happen. You gotta work the phones. This is how fantasy football is won. You have to massage and talk to people all year, and then when the time is right, when they're like, I'm 0-7, I need to do something. Time is now.
You massage people like Deshaun Watson.
That's how my name is. Happy endings, my friend.
On that note, happy endings. We'll try to make a happy ending here. All right, we were going to go through Adamo works the phones. I mean, this guy, I'm very tell everybody a little bit about what you do. I'm very proud of you. Like, you're an entrepreneur. Talk about some of the things you're involved with, Chris.
Yeah, I'm an angel investor in 80 startups. I'm also a founder of a few tech companies. I do a lot in social. I do some matching with brands and big accounts on Instagram. I work with @art, I work with @rap, @country, a lot of cool handles. And yeah, I like to be in the middle of things. So it's fun to be in a conduit to help folks make those connections happen and throw a lot of rad events in Miami and around the world for brands that want to do things. It could be around tech. It could be around social. It could be a certain, genre or industry, but I'm just good at being kind of a helpful hand. I kind of people ask me what I do. I say whatever it takes. That's what I do for a living.
Yeah, you hustle, man, and I'm just so happy with everything you've done. You really you just have this I'm gonna get it done attitude, and that's it's just a great way to be. And on that note, so I gotta get some deals with you or something because I'm a rapper.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, I'm not gonna rap right now, but
come on, man. I'm ready to hear it.
Wow. Okay.
Let's see. The Yankees game is tied 2-2. 2-2 in the ninth, top of the ninth. 2 outs.
Oh my God. Okay, so
yeah, not going
2-2. What is it? Top of the ninth, 2-2. Okay, 2 outs. Oh boy. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna go watch the end of the Yankee game. Hopefully, all y'all are having a great night out there. You want to hear me rap?
Yeah.
Really?
Let me get a little freestyle.
Oh my God. All right. See, every time I freestyle, I've had issues with this this setup here. So every time I put these, this is like gonna sound so lame. Okay, so I gotta turn off echo cancellation. All right. That's what they told me to do. And turn on stereo audio. All right. So check this out. All right, let's see. You want me to freestyle? Let me see what beats I got here. How about?
Oh yeah.
That might be too
Dad rap. Dad rap.
I don't know if I can rap on this one. Come on. Throw the mic right at me because I can catch it. Insane in the brain, can't be constrained by nurse ratchet. Give me a pass max, I can burn the Dutch. And I have to learn chips that burn so much. Yo, as I flip it, rip it like a magician did. SBEC with the quickness. You know, opportunity knocking on my door like Jehovah Witness to get in the business. And I got the rap image. I did this. You know, I lived this life that I'm living. I'm 45, but I'm alive. And you know I'm gonna survive through all the things that I've been, all the things I've done. And now I've become the one, like Neo, like Keanu. The beat drop, the beat stop. See, I got my
I like it. Respect. That was on the fly. I like that a lot.
I don't know, I said something.
You know.
But this is the thing, right? My song is coming out. My song is coming out. I'm going to I've told you this. Have I told you this?
No, kill music. Tell me.
I'm dropping a joint to.
Ooh, really?
Yes. I am actually gonna put a song on streaming.
I can't wait to hear it.
Can you believe this?
When's it come out?
Comes out soon. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get the video clip. Is this it? No, that's not it. I got a video coming out. I don't have it tonight, but I will get it out. I was going to do a sneak peek tonight, but I think it's a little too early because what is it? What day is it? It's October 25th. I'm dropping on November 15th. The Car Aisle is the name of the track. The B-side is That Dad Life. So everyone out there, follow me at Dad Rap Music on Instagram. You're going to get all the news. And I'm going to have my first song on streaming. I'm going to publish a song, if you could believe this. Actually, 2 songs. I'm doing it old school like it used to be, where you would have an A-side and a B-side. You know, when you go to the store and you buy a single on tape, you have 2 songs you would get. You know? Mm-hmm. Nowadays, I'm an old crouchy old man. Nowadays, they just drop 1 song to stream and they call it a single. I'm going to drop 2 songs November 15th. So follow me at Dad Rap Music. And where can people follow you, Chris, for all your crazy things you're involved with?
At Chris Adamo.
All right, my man.
And guess what?
Yes.
Turn the echo off.
Oh, you hear the echo now?
Yeah.
Oh, my. Okay, hold on a second. Jeez. Echo cancellation. Wow, okay.
Well, yeah. Oh, we're back. So Sunday is my birthday. I'm turning 43. Maybe you can zoom into my birthday and do a little music.
All right. I'll do better than I just did.
Yeah.
So, all right. All right. So, I got to watch this Yankee game. For Saratoga Slim, for the Racing Dudes, for Chris Adamo, for the Friday Football Freakout. We love you all. Peace. I'm out.